5. We are with Essa Faal, and this is going to be my working instrument for this next half hour. Everything I say to him has to come from this. Greetings, Uncle Peter and Mr. Essa Faal.
Greetings to you too.
All right. I want to ask Mr. Faal, doesn't he think he should join with the UDP and other serious political parties to salvage Gambia from sinking, because we have already sunken? And this is from Alex Badunyang.
Mr. Nyang, thank you for an important question. I do receive a lot of criticism from UDPians, especially a number of them in the diaspora. Not because we have differences in policies, but a lot of them think that I should not be on my own. I should not be leading a separate party. A lot of them really push the idea that I should be part of the UDP and help remove this Barrow government. I do not have...
There was a time when your visions, at least publicly, looked aligned. Just
yes.
after 2021, when they decided to go to court, and
yes,
you supported the idea.
Yes, I supported the idea that they should go to court because they had a grievance. And I do believe that the forum really for addressing...
They had a grievance that mirrored yours, I suppose.
Not fully.
Yeah.
I had a grievance which I could not prove. They had a grievance which they believed they could prove. So I supported them to go to court to fight for that. And I would do it again if it happens, because this is a matter of rights. UDP has a right to go to court to have their disputes resolved, because we have a democracy. We don't want our country burnt. We don't want to be fighting for our ideas in the streets. This has to be dealt with in a civilized manner and in court. So I applauded the UDP for going to court. I would do it again if it becomes necessary. So that comes from my values also as a good citizen and also as a lawyer. But what this person is calling for is a coalition. I support a coalition with UDP and with all other parties, because the more fragmented we are, the greater the chances of the NPP winning. But the more united we are, we reduce their chances of winning. And to be quite candid, if we have a UDP government beyond NPP government, excuse me, with all due respect to UDPians, I'm saying if we would have an NPP government beyond 2026, that'll be a terrible disaster for this country. Because they have proven time and time again that their only vision for government or for economic prosperity in this country is borrow and spend.
Okay, that point was clearly made earlier. Hello, Peter. This is a guy who owes no explanation to anyone. I think there are more important issues that affect Gambians than involving in his personal life without any iota of knowledge about him. However, his only mistake was contesting the past election. Well, that was his decision, which I respect all the way. I think I know who I will vote for come the next election, and the person signs off with salam. Do you think contesting in 2021 was a mistake?
A lot of people told me it was a mistake. But only God knows, really. I believe in my religion there's this concept of predestination. God charts out a path for you, and I accept wholeheartedly. I had a humiliating defeat in 2021. I know that I have performed much more than I was declared to have performed, but I just...
You did more than 1%? They're saying
2%. 2 or 3%.
They said they're saying you pulled less than 1%.
That's not true, but in any case, the important thing here is that I have gone through a lesson in life. This is an experience of humility that I had to go through. And I do know that my worth in this country is much bigger than the vote that was attributed, that was given to me. But the important thing is I am still here and standing with my head high. I have nothing to be ashamed about. All I was trying to do is to fight for my country. Okay. Even if I would have 0 votes next election, I'll be happy that I stood for the values I believe in. I stood for the interest of the Gambian people, whether they vote me in as president or not. But my brother, be rest assured, next elections is for APP Sobeya. They said that 2021 was not the right time. Listen to the rumblings on the ground. 2026 is for APP Sobeya. We will win this election and take Gambia to higher heights. We would bring sanity in government. We will bring organization. We will bring honesty and decency. We will bring reunification. We would ensure reconciliation of the Gambian people. And we will focus only on one purpose. That is the peace, prosperity, and progress of this country. All these other isms and schisms that are being talked about would fall by the wayside. Gambians would, for the first time, come together and focus on national development.
Good morning, Peter. Essa has some great ideas. People are tired of politics and project-based government, only dependent on loans and grants, with no overarching vision. We need fundamental root and branch reform. By now, Essa Faal should have already been in advanced discussions with UDP and DOI to form a coalition that can come up with smart policies and identify a potential cabinet in waiting in order to hit the ground running. Working solo and in silos is not in the best interest of the country. Egos need to be put aside to save this rapidly sinking country. I should announce at this point that UDP will be on the program on Thursday.
I think Gambians are yearning for a grand coalition that can oust Barrow. You will recall, Peter, that 2.5 years ago, I made these kinds of calls. I was being attacked by both UDP and supporters and NPP supporters for daring to call for a grand coalition. But perhaps maybe I have been vindicated by now that one way forward, really we need to buy an insurance policy for next government to ensure that Barrow is out. And the only way we can get that insurance policy is if all these parties converge together in a grand coalition. And I support that idea. There are lots of things happening on the ground, much of which I cannot talk about, but I am hopeful that at the end of the day there would be a grand coalition that is capable of removing Barrow, and a coalition around a leadership that is capable of uniting Gambia, a coalition around a candidate that has the ideas and the vision to save Gambia from the terrible malaise that it is currently in, a coalition that would ensure that all Gambians would see themselves in it, a coalition that would look into only one thing, that is the best interest of Gambia in everything that it does. I sign up for that coalition.
Hi, Uncle Peter. Essa Faal always tells us that he is rich, so when he is voted into office, he wouldn't need our money. But please ask him, how can he convince us that his businesses will not be further funded by the Gambian money, or will there not be pressure for him to give work to his business partners for his own benefit? Secondly, why is it that all the candidates are trying to compete on who can speak English better than the other, not knowing that 65% of the electorate can't hear them? So I think they should try more to explain their policies in the local languages, since it's Gambians who will be electing, not English people electing.
Yes.
Well, thank God for that. English people would be voting in our elections.
Voting in our elections, indeed. Peter, let me tell this guy that I am not rich. I am not rich. I am hardworking. And I try to make money lawfully. And what I make, I share with people. Maybe a lot of people would not know that. But a lot of times I am broke. Yes, but that's the way things are. I would not need to take anybody's money because I know how to make money. But that does not mean that I have containers of money lying somewhere and I can always dip into that. No, that's not. That's a rosy picture. That is not. The little that I make, I share with the Gambian people. I pay school fees for people that I don't know. I pay medical bills for people that I don't know. I help pay rent for people that I don't know. I help feed families that I don't even know. But that's the way it is. That's how I was brought up. Growing up in my home, sometimes I would be home and my grandmother would come and wake me up. Isa, wake up, we have a visitor. And she would spread a mat on the floor for me to lie down. I will lie down there and the guest would sleep on my bed. Yeah. That is the Gambia I know. That's how I was brought up. My father paid a lot of school fees for people. Look, even coming, I traveled a few days ago. When I arrived at the border at Karang, I met a senior immigration officer there. He told me, Mr. Faal, you don't know. Your father paid my school fees. And I get a lot of that. In fact, the other day, somebody was saying that Essa Faal is not Gambian. My friend, let me tell you, my great-grandfather did things in this country. If you know, well, maybe his great-grandfather has nothing to do with Gambia, never visited, maybe from Guinea-Bissau. You come here and you tell us that we are not from here. My friend, my grandfather built 90% of the wharves in this country. The biggest economic contribution in the development of this country come from my family, my grandfather. My father taught so many people in this country. So you sit there and for party and tribal reasons, you attack people telling them you're not from here, you're not from... That's politics must stop.
That word again, tribalism.
Gambia...
Let's move on. Hi, Uncle Peter. Can you please ask Essa Faal if President Barrow won the 2026 presidential election and decided to appoint him as the vice president, would he accept? And what will he do to change the government he is criticizing to ensure injustice, impunity, and misappropriation of public funds is banished from this country? This is Abdullah Ba questioning you.
I will never work for a government that does not put the interest of the Gambian people first. I will never work for a government that does not give me the opportunity to use my legal knowledge to ensure that corruption is reduced to the lowest possible levels in this country. I will never work for a government that is transactional and does not have a holistic economic policy for the development of this country. That is my answer.
If you like what you are seeing, please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe.